This is TWiT.
All right. Now, let's talk about the Stanford Internet Observatory, which, sad to say, is no more. Its former director, Alex Stamos, was a regular on our shows. Very smart guy. I guess the writing was on the wall when Stamos left a few months ago. Mm-hmm. But the interesting story is why Stanford is closing its Internet Observatory. It was designed to watch for misinformation, in particular for attempts to affect elections from outside nations. I think provided a very important information for the last two elections. But just in time for the 2024 election, it is being dismantled. Why is this such a big story, Devindra?
First of all, this is going to be great, folks. This election year is going to be terrible.
No misinformation. No one will attempt
happening
to affect this election. It's going to be fine.
It's, so first of all, Stanford says that the work of the SIO is going to continue in other forms, is what they're saying. But I just remember seeing all the, basically all the conservative pushback against this organization. I believe they were sued 3 times.
And worse, in the lawsuits, the names of students as well as staff were revealed, were doxxed. And that's a big deal. These conservative groups allege that the SIO's researchers colluded illegally with the federal government to censor speech, when in fact what they did is provided the government and platforms with information about misinformation, disinformation campaigns from other nations, particularly Russia. Stanford was forced to spend millions of dollars to defend its staff, according to Casey Newton and Zoe Schiffer in the Platformer newsletter.
I feel like that's the reason, is that it was probably too successful at what it was trying to do, and the pushback, especially big money conservative pushback, was probably too much for Stanford to deal with. It's a shame, because I thought this was such a necessary thing, coming basically after the 2016 elections, and we have not even fully reckoned with how misinformation and disinformation shaped that whole period. We're still living with kind of the outcomes of that today. I'm just, a little terrified of what we're walking into with this election.
I don't, I'm always trying not to be political, not succeeding very well, because paying attention. If you pay attention,
life is politics, right?
If you pay attention, you might be a little political. But let me read this paragraph from Platformer. In parallel to these lawsuits by the conservative groups, Republican House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan and his Orwellian subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government have subpoenaed documents at Stanford and other universities, selectively leaked fragments of them to friendly conservative outfits, and misrepresented their contents in public statements. And in an actual weaponization of government, Jordan's committee has included students, both undergraduates and graduates, in its subpoena requests, publishing their names and putting them at risk of threats or worse. So thank you, Jim Jordan and the subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government. I think in years to come, this will be viewed very much like Senator McCarthy's House Un-American Activities Committee was viewed, and it's quite shameful.
But the support for it now is also far greater than I think that was at the time.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, I don't know.
If an institution like Stanford, with deep pockets and with a good reason to keep doing this, finally pulled out and said it's too much, no more. What smaller group would be able to pick up the mantle from the SIO and continue this work? There's nothing out there.
Well, you remember Harvard had a similar disinformation group at the Berkman Center, which they've basically shut down. There is pressure across the board on institutions not to investigate disinformation, not to investigate collusion and foreign government interference in our elections. I wonder why, and I wonder who that's coming from.
No reason, folks.
No reason. It's just chance.
Yeah. Just chance.
Just a coincidence. It's a wild...
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
Just move on.
Hey, thank you for watching this little snippet from our big show, the News Roundtable This Week in Tech. I'm Leo Laporte. Each week we cover the week's tech news, in-depth analysis, but it's also fun and engaging. You'll find it at twit.tv along with all of our shows. And if you want more, just hit the subscribe button And we'll be sure to bring you a lot more great content. Thanks for listening.